The topic I have chosen to discuss is the history of the universe. The TED Talker presenter is David Christian, a historian and scholar of Russian history. David tries to address that the universe can create complexity in a difficult process. What I learned is that David's big history delves deep into the history of the entire universe and how it functions as a whole. His colleague, Fred Speer, states that there are Goldilocks conditions, pockets that make things just right for the creation of complexity, being constructed stage by stage. Threshold moments are when each stage creates something new, appearing almost out of nowhere in the universe. With each threshold, the Goldilocks conditions become severe due to the vulnerability and fragility of complexity created by the universe. Surveying the history of the universe starts with looking back 13.7 billion years ago, when there was nothing. The beginning of time was an endless void until the first threshold was crossed. The universe being smaller than an atom, being so incredibly hot, containing what we know in today's universe that it busts and expands in such incredible speed. Enter the Big Bang. The second threshold occurs when stars light up in the universe from billions of clouds compacted by gravity, increasing to its threshold temperature, crossing at 10 million degrees, and releases a huge amount of energy. The third threshold of complexity is crossed when stars die and create new types of atoms, those being all the elements of the periodic table. When these elements are stirred around by stars, they are formed into several things, including rocky planets and more diverse environments. This crosses into the fourth threshold of complexity, the Earth and the solar system. Molecules soon combine to form entities that are more fragile and vulnerable, but are creative and are capable of generating further complexity, living organisms. The fifth threshold has crossed. Life requires Goldilocks conditions, which involve chemistry that operates over smaller scales than gravity. The ideal conditions for chemistry is the right amount of energy, diverse chemical elements, and liquids. As time passes on, living organisms go from single cells to multi-celled organisms. Fungi, fish, plants, amphibia, reptiles, and the dinosaurs were those very multi-celled organisms that roamed the Earth. However, an asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs 65 million years ago, leaving the other beings to live on and our mammalian ancestors to evolve into the humans that we know today. The appearance of our species counts as a threshold because DNA generates a faster way of learning by producing organisms with brains, not only to help us learn, but by passing down information through language. This allows humans to gather information from generation to generation, allowing us to be so creative and powerful, which is identified as collective learning. The sixth threshold has crossed. Humans then migrate from one location to several more, migrating into new environments and learning how to exploit them and dealing with their surroundings. Once humans learned to farm, the human population multiplied at a large rate. Another threshold has crossed. The final threshold is the modern revolution. Humans linking up globally through shipping, trains, telegraph, and then the internet. 7 billion people learning at warp speed, which forms a single global brain. What I found most interesting in this TED Talk is the delivery David gives for this presentation, while aided by stunning visuals and organized information. The significance of informing us as a society about this topic is that big history shows us the nature of our complexity and fragility and the dangers that we face, but also our power with collective learning. We as humans in the next generation must know the story of big history to understand both the challenges and opportunities that face us.